Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. General reading, take what works, leave what doesn't. Cutting the deck here. From the bottom of the deck, overall for the reading, we have the Magician. So creating something, planning something, the ability to make something happen. This is the mise en place chef that cuts all the stuff and measures it all out and lays it all out on the counter before they start cooking. This is the planning stage. It's new. It's the card number 1. So it's more than just inspiration. It's bringing something into reality and the building a new reality, being very focused on it, right? Our Fool is the 0 card. It's like, oh, that sounds like fun. I think I'm going to try that. And this is like now focusing in the energy, the intentions, all of that. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, and possible outcome. Okay, some interesting cards and some very strange placements. I'm going to say this whole reading has some really odd placements of cards. The internal and the external and the to-do list is all kind of throwing me. So in the recent past, we have the Devil. This is addiction, obsession energy. It's something you can free yourself from. You can quit anytime you like. Yeah, but it's a lot harder than that, isn't it? So something that can be difficult to quit, something that just feels like, it was maybe easy to get into, tempting. It felt really good at the time. But it has a sense of, you can feel a little bit stuck. You can regret the time and attention you gave to something. I almost see this as coming in as regrets. Right. And regrets, I was just talking about this. Was it in a personal reading about regrets being, we can choose to just not, the phrase no regrets is just dumb, first off. And then we can also choose, because we all have regrets, and regrets are how we learn and how we grow. We regret, that's like how any sort of addict starts to realize that they need to do something differently, is they have a lot of regrets and they weigh on them and they don't like what they've done and they don't like any of that. Regrets are absolutely important. So we can have no regrets by like trying to make good choices, but there will always be things that we regret and things that we wish we could have done differently and things we wouldn't have done again. Times that we gave into temptation or gave into what seemed like a good idea, that we wouldn't do that again. So those are important to listen to, very good to not ruminate on, but to mine for information about how we want to move forward with our life. But there's also a sense of, I feel like this is all very compacted. Like this almost feels like this Devil energy just feels like a second, a moment, or like we're going from the Devil energy, and how I feel is we're going, the Justice card isn't here, but I feel like we go straight from like Devil to, not Justice, Judgment card. The Judgment card isn't here, but that's in a way how I'm feeling about something that happened in the past, is like we did something, we regret it, and now going forward, we're going to make different decisions, both to, stave off regret. But then I was going to say there's 2 ways to view regret. One is like to try to make decisions that stave off regret, but also to like, I did that and choosing to not regret things, like as a matter of course, like, choosing to move forward rather than ruminate in the past. But so there's something about this Devil energy where obviously the Devil isn't great energy. It can be trapped, addictive energy, things that felt good or seemed like a good idea at the time, but we regret the fallout from that. We regret the consequences of that. Something where the consequences maybe, and it's just like hard to get away from and hard to extricate yourself from something. It could be a mental state too. It doesn't have to be like a person. It's for contracts, anything that's hard to get out of, that kind of has you trapped. There has to be an allure there to get you trapped, right? Like no one is trapping mice by putting like actual turds on a mouse trap. Like it has to be something the mouse wants, right? And then the mouse gets trapped or sliced in half, whatever. So in the current situation, we have Wheel of Fortune. So this is generally speaking, traditionally speaking, a very lucky card. And it seems like there's like luck. Something that this card comes up sometimes when it seems like something that's unlucky, it's actually quite lucky. It's actually quite good. So there's a shift in fortunes. Yeah, the ponies go up and down. And Joni Mitchell's, song, the ponies go up and down, around and around, and some people's ponies are up and some people's ponies are down. So you've gone from devil energy, but something's shifting in your favor, something external to you, some sort of event or occurrence external to you. You're not moving it. It's like the divine moving it for you. I think some people like define this as miracles when something external to you actually changes the reality. So you may have been stuck somewhere, but there's some sort of reality changing around you. It could be freeing you from something that you've been trapped in, and you don't have to do anything. And it could actually be very lucky or very good, but it might not feel very lucky. There's a little bit of mystery here of how did this even happen? What's even going on here? Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. It's a very, very fortunate card. It has the word fortune in it. Very fortunate card. It is external to you. In your current situation, you have the World card, which is so funny to me because this is the externalist card. Like, this is a pretty external card. So these two cards together have something external going on around you. But the World card can often be about like these events that go on in the world and go on around us that we don't really understand or have any control over, right? We're all just like little boats on the sea of history and doing the best we can and navigating some of these larger movements throughout human history of, climate and economy and all of that. And we're trying to navigate that. So the world, it's an ending. Maybe something that's like hounded you and bedeviled you. Some sort of circumstance happens. And you want to bring something to like some sort of final closure. This is hopes and fears. So there's a lot of emotion going on against like an ending, going on around an ending. And look at how the world and the Wheel of Fortune, they have these exact same characters in the background here. This is all supposed to be external, but somehow the external is internal, or you're hoping for this change. It's like what you hope for, some sort of ending or some sort of finality of something that's really bedeviled you is coming to a complete close and a complete end, or you're hoping for the chapter to end. You're hoping for the book to end. Wheel of Fortune looks like a chapter ending, or just a twist of fate. And both of these have a strong sense of turning, of a rotation, of a moving through a period of movement, of rolling. Things are rolling. But something's like, it looks like this thing that's dogged you for a while or from your past. It's closing. You're hopeful that this change of scenery or this change of plans or this change of this Wheel of Fortune turning is going to move you away from, finally, once and for all, away from this devil energy. This could be a person that's obnoxious and annoying and has been a thorn in your side. So you're hopeful that this like turns that we're like, I just keep seeing the wheel, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune here. So, and then this one's like clearly sort of wheeling through some garland here. So there's a sense of like the wheel rotates completely and you're out of the rut, right? Like a car stuck in sand, or I see like a wagon wheel stuck in mud, and it's like the universe gives your little wagon a push, a shove out of this devil energy. Like it's like you're trying to get the wagon out of the mud, and someone comes across you, or like some group of strapping young men come and they push your cart up out of the mud, and you get this assist that you didn't know you were going to get, that you didn't see coming. You get this assist to move you up out of the rut. And so the whole sort of misadventure and the whole trapped in this mud thing gets some movement. And this is what you're hoping for, but it's like what you're hoping for actually happens. Like you're sitting up on your wagon like, oh, I wish there was some help. And it looks like, you know, maybe you think this is like a gang come to rob you or something, but instead if you do see a gang come to rob you, disregard this, just run. But instead they're like pushing you out. They're coming to help, not harm. And this is what you're hopeful of. But also there's a sense of finality here. There might be some fears about what happens next, or the whole next chapter, or the whole next book of your life. There might be some fears about this, right? It's hopes and fears, and oftentimes they're the things we hope for, we also are afraid of. It's just so fascinating that these characters all here, the bull, the virgin, the ewe, the lion, the eagle. There's these characters here that are in both. So what's at issue is the star in reverse. This looks hopeless. Something looks hopeless, and maybe it's like, oh great, I'm stuck in the mud, and then here comes this gang of kids, or you know, I don't know. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. You don't have. There's like a lack of hope here. You're not seeing the fortune in this change of fortunes. It doesn't necessarily look fortunate, even though it's almost exactly what you wanted. It doesn't look like it's exactly what you wanted. So the star card is just like not feeling the blessing. And this is why I think the Wheel of Fortune is here, is to tell you that something that feels unlucky is actually a little bit more lucky than you think. A lot more lucky than you think. It's going to work out in your favor, even if it feels a little strange. Like there's a sense of trusting the mysteries here, trusting the universe, trusting, you know, the divine to provide something or do something. But there's just a sense of like losing hope, or not seeing the opportunity, or not seeing what good is going to come out of this situation, right? I just sort of see you sitting on your like little box on your wagon, looking back, getting more and more nervous about this approaching thing, and not really feeling very hopeful or excited about this group of approaching people, and not really understanding what they are or what's going to happen here. So there's a sense of hopelessness, or not really. There might be like just not really seeing, and maybe even not feeling like encouragement for the universe, or that you're on the right path, or you're in the right place. You may not be understanding your feelings or emotions about something. And we were already getting that with the World card, as far as hopes and fears, like big movements going on around you and around your life, and getting unstuck from a situation. But it doesn't, like, there's something about it that might not feel very good, or might not feel like this is the right thing. Your emotions are a little bit confused about, they're not flowing naturally, or they're a little bit confused about what's going on. And maybe you're not even trying something out. Like you have something that feels unlucky. It's actually quite lucky, but you're maybe there's a sense of not wanting to try it out, or not feeling very adventuresome, or not really wanting to dip your toe into the water here. You're like, this water looks big and scary and unpleasant. And I don't really want to try it out. Maybe a lack of exploration of your feelings, or what they mean around this, could be what's at issue here. Feeling hopeless could be quite a big issue. There's Wheel of Fortune's here, so it's a very lucky card. It's one of the luckiest cards in the deck. This Wheel of Fortune should be your star, but we're coming in with this reading of a sense of hopelessness about something. It's the devil. It's dogged you for a bit here, for a minute. So what's interesting is the World card is a very external card, and it's showing up internally in your hopes and fears. This hugely external card of like hopes, and what is this, hopes and fears about the world and how it moves and how it's going to turn and what changes you can see in your life and around you. There's like a lot of hope and fear about this. But then in your external, we have the most internal card in the deck. We have strength. So your externals could be like really testing you. And strength comes beneath this devil. Like this devil is like really causing you to tap into your strengths, or to maybe the situation around you there's a lot of, maybe the situation, I'm going to finish the sentence, maybe the situation around you is not easily moving on. You have this desire for this whole chapter to be over, but this is like not quitting, not giving up. The situation around you, this devil, this thing that dogs you and bedevils you, isn't easily going to quit and give up. And that's going to cause you to have to dig in even more into your own personal strength. I don't know that you're really particularly hopeful about this or excited about this. Like, and then we have the Lion in this card, fortitude, and I don't know, patience, prudence. I can't remember what we call these lions, but strength. So inner strength, taming some sort of inner beast. Maybe you're taming this devil. Maybe your external situation is causing you to need to tame the devil, or taming the energy, taming your reaction to this card, to seeing this card. Like, there's something in your environment, either it's very strong and it's not quitting, and that's forcing you to not quit, but you're not very hopeful about the situation at all, even though you've got the luckiest card in the deck. And you really want this to all be over, all be done, this whole stupid chapter wrapped up neatly with a bow, but the chapter won't quit. It keeps going. I mean, if this devil energy is addiction, like, that's just a lifelong thing that people, once that gets triggered, or, I mean, there can be lots of things like that, eating disorders, addictions, even like sort of just habits of the mind. They can be just lifelong, and something where, you know, every day you're going to have to say, like, this is my problem, this is my issue, these are my inner demons, and they're with me for life, and I have to figure out, you know, how to deal with them. And you think there might be closure here, and I'm almost seeing that it's like something you have to face every day, these inner demons. And I feel like, you know, by a certain point in our life, maybe mid-20s, we all know what our inner demons are, and what we're going to be looking at, and what we're going to be dealing with for the rest of our lives. Maybe not like really strongly, but they're always going to be there, little, like, maybe they become little demon dust bunnies everywhere. But, you know, we've all got these inner demons. We've all got things that we struggle against, or we face on a daily basis, or near daily basis. And maybe hopelessness and depression is something that it doesn't quit, and it's something that you're going to be looking at, that it just needs attention every day. So that's sort of what I'm seeing here with this strength card. So that's what's really funny here, is we have like the world card, the most external card I can possibly imagine about events outside our control. They're showing up inside you. And the interior card is the most interior card we have, about dealing with your inner demons, and taming parts of yourself that could devour you and destroy you. Having to deal with those are showing up in the external. So maybe there's like an external, it's like you just want the situation to stop, and it's never going to stop. You're never going to get away. And you're feeling this with the star in reverse. You're never going to get away from this problem. It feels that way. And there are different degrees with which you will be able to escape this problem. Your to-do list is the 3 of Swords. This is either to break someone's heart, or to deal with your own broken heart. This can be root issues to a problem, like why this devil is such a thorn in your side. And this is all about making something happen. And I keep seeing Ouroboros like over and over here. It's not here per se. We've got Ouroboros here in the infinity sign that this magician has themselves seated within them. And then we have Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. It's regeneration, but it's not. it's not growth, it's maintaining, is how I see Ouroboros, is maintaining. You know, you get paid, and then that very day you pay the rent almost the exact amount of your paycheck or whatever. You know, it's just the expenditure is equal to the intake. There's not growth, and the hope is to be able to break this sort of monotonous cycle, the serpent eating its own tail, right? We can, it's like getting calories, it's getting fed, but it's only getting fed by itself, by its own thing. There's no outside inputs of, you know, food or nutrition and calories into the situation, but there's also, you know, and then the snake is spending its whole, all its time, all its energy, you know, getting food. But it's just, to me, Ouroboros is the demon or the snake of maintenance, maintaining something. And it's like here in the devil card, I see it here in the world card, this Ouroboros. Maybe you're trying to escape this cycle that continues indefinitely. And that's what Ouroboros sort of can symbolize, to me, how that like sort of imagery has like come to grow into my own personal, you know, my own personal iconography of Ouroboros, of just this infinite circle in which you are trapped and would like to escape. That's what I'm seeing here. An infinite, what feels like inescapable, an infinite cycle that feels inescapable. So these three swords should help escape this. Like, just want to show you all this circle. You know, this garland looks a little bit to me snake-like. We've got a garland right here looking like Ouroboros. That's interesting too, is how both of these have this, there's just a lot of circle, and then Ouroboros here, not explicit but implied, and then Ouroboros definitely explicitly here in the Magician. So trying to escape a cycle, it looks like, and feeling fairly hopeless about it. Well, and we've got Wheel of Fortune, cycle. That's what we're doing, right? And then the wheel in the mud, trying to, you know, if you've ever been stuck in sand with an actual car, you know, you can, in some ways, you know, spinning your wheels is a little bit of what I'm seeing here. Spinning your wheels but not gaining any traction, and you might feel hopeless that you are gaining traction. We've got literally the Wheel of Fortune, wheel here. So there's a sense of spinning your wheels, and that's a little bit of the energy to me of Ouroboros. So 3 of Swords. We have heartbreak. So that's your to-do list. Either in order to break this cycle, you may break, heartbreak. Breaking the cycle, breaking this wheel, breaking out of the rut. Either you have to face some sort of heartbreak that in a way keeps you stuck in this cycle and stuck in this rut, which addiction can also often be, you know, the roots of it are going to be in pain and suffering, hurt, rejection, that kind of thing. These cycles, like what's at the core of the cycle. So looking at, in a way, you might need to break your own heart with realizations or whatever, but there is a sense of dealing with your own heartbreak, truth coming in, understanding your truth, and you may need to break someone else's heart. The hearts are going to heal, I think. But there's like breaking someone else's heart with truth. Maybe this is how you literally breaking out of the cycle. And I think truth comes in here, and I think pain is part of this. I don't want to say no pain, no gain, because I definitely feel like there's like 4 million ways to skin a cat, and we don't have to like go with the most painful, difficult one. That's a gruesome metaphor, but that's the metaphor. So, you know, if you realize that you're going to have to break someone's heart or say something painful or deal with some kind of pain, try to do it as gently as possible. Obviously, if not for the other person, then at least for your own like karma and sense of self. So there is something heartbreaking that you're having to interact with, either by being the one to deliver some sort of heartbreaking information or news or your truth, or by dealing with truths that you have received previously but not wanted to process or not really wanted to understand. And that can be difficult because people can say a lot of really horrible things to us that aren't true. So this is like something that you recognize is true and dealing with sort of that pain. Because that's how you break the cycle, because the cycle ends after that. There's no more cycle. I mean, it's like I said before, it's like infinite, like you have to deal with stuff, your inner demons repeatedly. But this one is, we have openings in the cycle after that. All of these have a circle until we get to this Three of Swords, which is sort of piercing truths, understandings, clearly seeing something, and it might be painful. So you're dealing with pain, your own pain, and maybe even inflicting pain. It might be like if you have a drinking buddy or whatever, like, you know, it'll be painful for them to receive the news that you're done, but it's still news that must be delivered. That's the metaphor. But there is like breaking the cycle. That's what I'm seeing here. Page of Pentacles, you get a new opportunity here. A new job, a new opportunity. This could be a student, actually, someone who's younger than you. The page is typically awkward, but this page wants to do things right. So they're contemplating their next move. There is a lot of the Magician in here. So this could be a work reading or something that's really a problem that's bedeviled you at work. You finally like realize something, have some sort of realization, and for some reason there's a little bit of pain associated with that. This could be like, you know, maybe a surgical intervention breaks some sort of cycle. Maybe I can sometimes see a medical aspect to this one, obviously, right? We've got the scalpel and the heart and blood usually associated with that. So that if this is like a medical issue, you know, whatever you're facing, whatever's been bedeviling you, it's having that cut out finally, and getting some freedom with that. So, but then Page of Pentacles, this could be back to work. This could be learning a whole new job. This is a lot of this Magician energy. They're beginning something. Both of these are beginning something. This one knows a lot more about what they're doing. This one is going to study up first. And there might be a sense of studying up on what the heck just happened, the Wheel of Fortune, this big change. And so there is a sense of like looking at something, understanding what it is that you have in your hand, and taking some time out to really think about the reality that you have now, your new reality, and understanding it, figuring it out, focusing on it. What's the new reality? You know, if you have bariatric surgery, what's the new reality mean? How do you move forward from this? You have a new reality now. So, you know, you have to learn something. You have to learn a new way of doing something now. You know, if in the past you like relieved stress through, you know, a self-destructive manner, you're going to have to learn how to relieve stress through different ways, through different means. So after this sort of heartbreak that you deal with, and you have some sort of focus and your energy on, there is a new reality, and you're just at the beginning of it. So it'll be important to focus on it. So this reading feels a little heavy, but honestly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana, 3 of Swords, heartbreak, and then Page of Pentacles. So whatever the cycle is that breaks and gets, whatever bedevils you, and we break some sort of cycle, and it might be a little bit painful, it does give you this newness, this new opportunity. All right, that's probably enough on that. And then let us these are supposed to be synchronicity cards. They might add to the message, but they might also just be symbols and things to look for, remind you you're right where you're at, you're exactly where you need to be. And by that, I don't mean like, and there you stay forever and ever or more. By that, I mean like, this is part of where you're at right now is part of your path. Okay, there's a lot of excited energy popping out here. Owl wisdom Owl, spirit, wisdom. So owls will be very important. Owls are an important messenger for me personally. So paying attention to owls, maybe some red clothes, maybe a red feather. And I like it too because this Three of Swords, it seems to combine with the Three of Swords for me. Not only just visually, there's sort of this like heart shape in a way. Maybe I might be seeing things you're not here, but this sort of this wisdom and this truth coming in here and having some sort of realization, seeing something extremely clearly. Mystic Meadow, Sanctuary. Oh, I like this. Some sort of safety, seeking some safety here. Especially we've got this really strange energy of the external being internal and the internal being external. Mystic Meadow, so we've got a bear, we've got a bunny with the sands of time here, a fox. All these things that maybe, it might be a moment that you're looking for. There might be a meadow that you visit, honestly. But there's all these things that are coming together in safety and peace. It's like a place for things to come together in safety and peace. A sanctuary, a safe place. And then unicorn, purity. So a cleansing, perhaps. That could be a little bit of what's going on here, a cleansing. A unique situation. If you see a unicorn, definitely pay attention to that. I mean, it could be on anything too, though. Oh, wait, unicorn here. Okay, we're just going to take the, holy moly. I'm going to take the two that stayed on the table. Sorry, you know I get excited about the ones that fall on the floor, but that's too many. Earnest Elephant, gentleness, temperance, goodwill. Pillar of patience and kindness, bless my heart with your gentle nature. And especially when we're dealing with something like this. Gentle on yourself, gentle on others. And then we have, let's see, observant octopus, complexity, multitasking, ingenuity, shape-shifting guardian of the sea, grant me the power of transformation. So, yeah, and the octopus has some very unique DNA. And the elephant has a lot of memory. Good memory, bad night vision, very good memories. This one's very happy. An observant octopus. So maybe the octopus and the elephant also mean something to you personally. All right, hope that was helpful for you. Over on Vimeo, I'm going to put a relationship love reading for those of you that want to join me over there. If you have any problems getting into those, just email me at empressrose1111@gmail.com. And otherwise, ciao, see you later.